This week, the homework is to distinguish wound and withdraw. And this is about the human tendency to, when we hurt someone, when we wound someone through a hurtful comment or an action or neglect, whatever it may be, there is a tendency to withdraw ourselves. And usually out of shame or guilt or remorse. And it's important that we see this pattern for what it is, because it re-wounds the person, so it becomes a double wound. And when I look at my own family history, especially on my father's side, this caused separation with siblings for years and years. And I had my own conflict with a relative where they took themselves away, and they framed it as taking themselves away to preserve their own mental health or to take themselves out of toxicity, when I was pushing for conflict resolution. And I believe that sometimes that can be, there's a real tendency right now in pop culture, like to, it's okay to remove yourself from toxic people. And often, that can be true. But often it's also a place for the ego to hide. And for a place to not look at one's shadow. It's like in order to have conflict resolution, we have to own our part of conflict, because it's more often than not co-created. And so it's important that we look at how we co-created it and own up to it, and apologize where apologies need to be. And, that takes looking at our shadows. And it's such an important part of being a well-rounded human being, because if you're going to truly love yourself, you have to look at the shadow. You have to look at all those unpleasant parts of yourself that are difficult to look at. And that's truly how you're going to love yourself, and how you're going to become a loving person who has the courage to admit their faults and not separate yourself, and create the circumstances and the ability to respond in a way that is loving and owning your stuff, and creating a place where you can resolve conflict and restore your integrity and create a future that is loving for both of you. Otherwise, it just becomes a place to store resentment and live in unforgiveness, and the opposite of what Jesus taught us, which was to love thy neighbor as thyself.